Hello, Libra friends. I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my Libra December 2024 Astrology Horoscope Forecast. I'm calling the theme of this time for Libra Epic Cosmic Reset. December 2024 is shaping up to be a very powerful month for Libra, where the cosmic energies are aligning. That means you get the offer of a complete reset and renewal. I'm going to go into lots of details about all of the different layers of this truth for you. This is for you if Libra is your sun sign, your moon sign, rising sign, or any other Libra placement you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. And if you're a very late degree Libra friend, so birthdays like October 15th through the rest of the sign, or Libra degrees, 23 degrees through the rest of the sign, I suggest you additionally listen to my Scorpio report, as your very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. So welcome to your Epic Cosmic Reset, where December's planetary placements are going to guide you to make the bold shifts and recalibrate those areas of your life that are really key and highlighted by the stars right now. Podcast friends, I'll put the chart as the thumbnail, so if you want to take a peek. YouTube friends, I will be working on the chart. If you don't want to see the chart, you can go to Annie Botticelli Astro Kisses, find Libra December 2024, and just have the audio, or you can scroll up in your screen just to hear what I'm saying and not watch the my doodles. Here, we're going to be concentrating a lot of energy on the bottom middle of the chart, but I am going to be popping off into different places to talk about some key transits and aspects that will make the astrology come alive for you, that will build your experience this month and beyond. We have 3 notable moons this month. I'm going to let them be my guide as we structure, kind of move around the chart to talk about notable things and to see where these areas of epic cosmic reset are. The first notable aspect is December 1st, a new moon at 9 degrees of Sagittarius. So to open up the discussion about the new moon in Sagittarius, we also have to add in the discussion about the sun being in Sag and Mercury retrograde being in Sag. Now, to build our storyline, we also want to know the dates of the Mercury retrograde. This way that will factor in to the discussion very strongly. Okay, so November 8th is when the pre-retrograde transit started. November 25th is when the actual retrograde started. It's actually retrograde until December 14th. Then mid-month, the energy changes. Things start getting more clear and open and easier to schedule and less, miscommunication ruckuses. And that energy just dwindles until it just is completely clear January 3rd. Okay, we do have other retrograde energy to talk about, but for right now, I'm going to focus on this concentration. Sagittarius energy means buoyancy, vibrance, optimism, excitement. It's opening up massive amount of breadth and expanded horizons. It brings in the view of the sage from the mountain, the international arena. The creative solutionist aspect of yourself is being activated. The sun is there bringing brightness and amplification. The new moon is there bringing new beginnings and the chance to plant seeds to build the energies that are in motion. And Mercury bringing information, investigation, communication. The retrograde aspect of it is bringing things back from the past and bringing things out from the inside. Another layer to note here is that Sagittarius energy is a fire sign, and fire signs flow very well with air energy. So for the second month in a row, November, we had a ton of extra Sagittarius energy. It started earlier in the month than it usually does. And so we have had 2 full months of just this fire frenzy, which is beautiful for air. This fuels everything that you are. It speaks your language. It's exhilarating. It connects in with your intellect. It expands your mind and brings interesting things. And it's been of a great benefit to you. So the areas that you especially have access for this epic cosmic reset are in those areas ruled by Sagittarius. First of all, anything having to do with learning, information, sharing information, taking it in, putting it out, increasing your intelligence, increasing your IQ on any level. This is an area where you can have a complete cosmic reset. And this energy is congregating in your 3rd house of Gemini, fellow air sign, all about information and research. And so you're having a mental cosmic reset where you can have different viewpoints. You can have new information that empowers you to make better decisions, helps you with your direction and your clarity, and can open a conduit for information you've been taking in for so long to start putting it out. The epic reset here can have to do with flipping a switch from taking in information, intellectualizing, talking about it, thinking about it, reading about it, listening to it. And then the switch flips, and now the conduit goes the other way, where now you're teaching. I remember I had this magic moment, and I'm a Sagittarius, it rules this kind of energy where I was studying and learning for so long and really deeply integrating information. And then this switch flipped, and all of a sudden now it's like it's flowing out in a big way, and it's sort of gave me an epic reset. And this is the energy that I see as a potential for you at this time. So, it may be time to put some of the things into action. Now, at the same time as we say this, I have to give you the other layer of the retrograde, because this isn't the time for your things that you want to go super far and super wide, and your big business launches and your huge decisions. This is a place for experimentation. The world of air, the world of Sagittarius fire is very much about experimentation. And the retrogrades are a time when the energy is coming in. So when you're trying to put something out too far, it comes right back to you. But that can benefit you through the lens of experimentation, trying things on, putting your toes in, the experience of something. And those are the kind of things that you can play in very safely in the retrograde. The epic cosmic reset can also have a lot to do with community, friendship, building. This third house is about your neighborhood, the people that are closest to you in proximity, the people you see all the time, your friendships, your social circles online or in person. But there is something, to a consistent level of communication with this Gemini energy. So the people you talk to all the time, the people you interact with all the time. Sometimes in some cases, the people you see often as well. Relatives that are not your parents or children, although your parents and children will come into play with all this Capricorn energy. And we'll get to that later. But this specifically is about like cousins and aunts and uncles and siblings. So you may have opportunities to reset or redo a relationship with one of those people or all of those people. You also can have a cosmic reset as it relates to your communication style, voicing the things that you need clearly to give them a better chance of actually being heard and your needs being met. Energy also rules mobility and the modes of transportation and devices that we use for communication. Both with Sagittarius energy and Gemini energy, it's very busy. They're both upward spiral energies. So you're here, you're there, you're everywhere. Expect this to be a super busy time. Of course, it's holiday time, and that does tend to happen. I think it's interesting how this holiday is set in a time when astrologically it would be busy whether we had holidays at this time or not. This energy would be spinning around regardless. One other point on the retrogrades, Mars retrograde is also happening. Maybe I'll just give you the dates on that now so I don't forget. October 7th, the pre-shadow transit started. I have been a very big proponent, and I've seen many other astrologers follow this. I've been doing YouTube for a long time, and prior to me doing my work, people never talked about these shadow periods. So I'm really excited that people are catching on, that we have to inform you that a shadow period before and after can be just as potent as the actual retrograde. And sometimes they stretch very far. So Mars only goes retrograde every 2 years and 2 months around. So October 7th is when this started. So we started descending into this Mars retrograde, where how we use our energy is getting called into question and reversed and experimented with, and in some cases completely made opposite. Lazy things that we may have been lackadaisical about can all of a sudden turn into obsessive hyperfocus. Things that we've been hot on, we can just completely lose, interest in. So, these energetic reversals are very common. So October 7th, this kind of started. You may notice people stopped showing up. Things started to take longer to get done. Other people are feeling it too. So it's not just you. That's why expecting something from someone during retrogrades is very difficult, December 6th, this month, we officially have Mars retrograde after all this ado for the building of the retrograde. It will stay retrograde until February 24th of 2025. And then we start this slow trek out of that shadow period, which lasts until May. But we will feel the switch when it goes direct, and every day we get out of it, we'll feel that, but it's a long transition. So, we're in this and it's happening. But these retrogrades can add to this story of your epic cosmic reset. The Mercury retrograde in the third house gives you this chance to revisit and rethink and revise old communication styles, communication habits, intellectual viewpoints, intellectual projects. It's a time that you can reset how you express yourself and work through past misunderstandings. Also, the retrograde can push you to re-examine the way you think and speak, which can offer tremendous clarity after reflection. So things with RE are very much our retrograde story. One of the tips that you can follow here for the Mercury retrograde is to rethink your communication strategies. Revisit old conversations, especially the ones that keep coming up, instead of pushing them down. Clear up the misunderstandings before starting new projects or new chapters. Polish up your old ideas. You can refine previous ideas, things you're working on. If you're writing, it's a great time for editing. And, just in general, kind of having this reset. With the Mars retrograde, and again, this is in a fire sign. It was in Cancer for a while, and it will go back there. And that was a square for you and will again become a square for you, where it's more of a pressure point. But now with Mars in Leo and that in retrograde, this is in a nice angle for Libras. This again is speaking your language. So you've got planets on either side of fire, on your air at these 60-degree angles, the angles of opportunity, giving you all of these options to, have this reset. One of the ways that Mars retrograde can bring this reset is speaking about the 11th house of social networks and long-term goals. There's a lot of similarity between the energy of Aquarius and the energy of Gemini. They're both air signs, and Gemini that rules the third house that we've been talking about for Sag. So these two houses being accentuated with these two retrogrades are similar in the way they relate to friendships and social circles and social connections and networks. And so one of the ways you can have this reset in the 11th house is to reevaluate your social circles, reevaluate your use of social media. Maybe take a digital detox, a digital break. Maybe, tune into the groups and the teams that you're a part of, and really reconsider who you're aligning with and what dreams you have that are really the most important for you and who you can align with to help you bring those about. In this area, this epic reset potential can be activated by reflecting on these long-term visions and the friendships. It's a time to rebuild alliances and clarify your goals for the future. But at the same time, remember, the future feels a little further off when we have retrogrades. And we're doing more of like the going backwards in order to be able to go forward in the future. Ted Andrews talks about the rabbit being able to make a lot of strides and catch up very quickly. And it makes me think of this energy where if you have to go backwards, which the stars are saying you do, then you can make up for any backwards motion with tremendous forward motion when the time comes by taking the time to do this reevaluation now. So, ask yourself about your friendships. Are your friendships and alliances supporting your goals? If not, maybe it's time to make some shifts. As I was saying before, Mars changing direction can bring a change in direction to how you use your energy. That's what Mars is about. This is, the foundation of your stamina. This is the foundation of how you get things done. So you may have a complete reversal. You could have been completely uninspired and now something gets turned on and your creative juices are flowing like crazy. And this is especially more likely because Mars is in Leo. Leo rules the 5th house, which is the house of your individual creative expression, your unique and sometimes until recently hidden talents, or until soon to be really, revealed hidden talents, things that bring you pleasure that you do, your hobbies, fun. Leo also rules romance and true love and children, whether they're your own or others. The whole process of conception through child rearing, all of that is ruled by Leo. So there could be something you become obsessively focused on, resolving issues with or for your children, spending time with them, having fun with them, working things out for them, figuring out why you're having trouble having children, diving into fertility issues, anything like that. You may find Mars in retrograde in Leo starting to bring up. And you'll probably have a lot of blasts from the past as well. Old lovers, old friends, old acquaintances coming in like crazy and giving you opportunities to reassess and redirect. So that new moon on December 1st, starting out the month in Sagittarius in your Gemini house, can bring new beginnings. As we said before, it's your time to set your intentions and make your wishes on all things Sagittarius, and for you, Libras in Gemini, because that's the house that it happens in. So if you're wishing for new devices, new car, new mode of transportation, new physical mobility, if you're wishing for your perfect education program or your perfect platform to teach, if you're wishing for international adventure or connections or learning a language, these are very much aligned, taking information in and putting it out. So now let's jump over to the part of the chart that has a lot of Gemini energy, and that is because we're going to talk about the full moon. So the next moon date, December 15th, is a full moon at 24 degrees of Gemini. This is a fellow air sign, and this activates your ninth house. Okay, so all the Sagittarius stuff that we just talked about, that we've been talking about, is further activated by Jupiter's presence there. Jupiter rules Sagittarius and the ninth house. And so Libra has all of that extra oomph for Sagittarius, not only in the short term, but the long term. From May of 2024 to June of 2025, this is super active. When the days are on the 15th, you add this 24-degree Gemini full moon, bringing fullness and completion and fruition, possibly drama, elucidation, things from the inside being coaxed out. And this can give you a reset involving everything having to do with Sagittarius and Gemini. So again, we've got new beginnings in those arenas. We've got the epic reset potential of using the new moon to plant these seeds for intellectual growth, and community building and long distance travel and international connections. This is, a great time to take up a course or, have a new book that you find one that you love, or embark on a project that stimulates your mind. This is very passion led, and this is very intellectually led. Everyone can get the goodies from these moons, but I want to drill down into who may get the most kisses or may notice the blessings the most. That new moon in the days around December 1st, those of you who are in the September born at the end will say 4 to 14 degrees of Libra, and the closer to 9 degrees. So that's going to be like September 26th through around October 6th, the closer to around September, 29th, 30th, the more you may notice the blessings and have extra power from that new moon. Now for the full moon, you may have more of a kiss if you're from 19 degrees through 29 degrees. So the closer you are to around October 18th, and we'll pull it back to like October 14th through the rest of the sign, October 22nd, 23rd. So that range there from the 14th on, and the closer to around the 18th, or 24 degrees. If you know your degrees, that's a more accurate measure because the sun doesn't move into the new sign on the same day each year, which is why there's a few degree difference in when, what these degrees could be, these dates could be. Okay, so let's now go to the Capricorn new moon. And along with that discussion, we have to talk about the massive amount of energy in Capricorn and how this can help you to reset some additional areas in your life. All right, so in the days around December 30th, we've got another new moon. So you notice usually we talk about one new moon and one full moon per month, but we have a black moon. The second new moon in a calendar month or a sign is a black moon. For the Eastern time zone and East, this 12:30 moon at 9 degrees of Capricorn is also a black moon. Black moons are an opportunity to plant a seed even deeper with more sustenance and nurturance to help it grow and thrive, basically. Okay, so we've got Pallas Athena, Venus, Ceres. we will have the new moon on 12:30, and then the sun on around December 22nd will all be in Capricorn. Okay, so that's a massive amount of Capricornian energy. This is going to bring up this polarity of the fourth house versus the 10th house, Capricorn versus Cancer. Cancer rules the fourth house. The signs are in Capricorn. Capricorn rules the 10th house. You know, we can see the duality that's intrinsic in the human experience by seeing these, these polarized states, or these not polarized states, but basically, well, they could be, but duality, basically. Home versus work. Cancer is home and family. Work is out in the world, your place, your inner world, your outer world. All of these things are going to become very strongly. Lots of focus on home and family. We've had a long-standing focus on this because before Mars got into Leo more recently here, it had spent a long time in Cancer. So Mars was bringing focus and obsessive need to give attention to the home and family. And now it's coming from a different way. Now it's coming from all this energy in Capricorn, wanting to get stability, wanting to get consistency, needing to do financial things, needing to do business things. Maybe you're bringing your business, Capricorn, to your home, fourth house, working from home, working on businesses that have to do with homes, all of that. And this new moon gives this epic reset potential because you can plant the seeds for growth for your home and family, growth for your business or your work or your employment, growth in your relationships with your parents and as a parent. This cosmic reset in this fourth house gives you opportunities to rebuild your personal foundations, your emotional foundations, your actual home. I know many, many, many people along where I live, up through a lot of, up into North Carolina and all the states between Florida and North Carolina and around there, have actually lost their homes due to hurricanes in recent times. And this energy is a very strong rebuilding of home, rebuilding of a sense of home, a sense of family, and in some cases, a rebuilding of your actual home. It gives you a chance to reset your roots also, and to really nurture your emotional well-being. So some tips for your epic reset here are to redefine home. There are times that I've had in my life, and I know that many people have had this experience, where they were more unstable from a physical home perspective. I had one time in my life, and I could track the astrology of what created that, but where I moved 17 times in, like 9 years. And that was, a pretty disruptive experience. But what I kept hearing Spirit say is the same thing I'm going to tell you, is that if we redefine home is where something, like for me, home for a while was where my dog was. My dog was my grounding cord in between a lot of things, as my family started to develop and grow. So you can redefine home. Maybe you can't control what's going on with your house. Maybe you can't control what's going on with certain things that feel like home to you. But if you redefine what home means into something that's not as thrown around by the wind, literally and figuratively, then, this might be a new reset for you to be able to establish that. And for many people, this home is going to be in your spiritual connection to the divine, because that is really the only thing that's not moving or not changing in this ever-changing world, with the earth constantly changing its course, in movement, spinning, turning. All of this is in movement. Our molecules are in movement. So the only static thing is our connection to spirit, and that may be the reset that occurs for you at this time. Okay, so I've given you dates. I am going to give you more dates, but I just want to pause for a second and tell you that if you're a visual learner and you like to see things written in one place, or if you like to have more dates than I give you in these reports, then go to anniehelpsyou.com, put your name and email address, click receive. I give a ton of free things to the public. I have for decades, and I give even more things to my free VIP communities, and you join that by putting your name, email address, clicking receive at anniehelpsyou.com. The archive link in the welcome letter that you'll receive when you join, when you click on that archive link, if you put in the search tab December 2024 astrology, that's where you'll find my sweet and salty write-up of the review of the month in writing, organized with the dates and my favorite dates of the month and the ones to watch. So I am going to give you my favorite date of the month, and I'm going to give you the one to watch. But if you want more, go to Annie Helps You. Okay, so even though The date that I don't like as much for this aspect is later in, linearly, the 24th of December, than my favorite date, which is earlier in the month. I'm going to start with it because I want to end off on a very positive note. And I do want to tell you that even with this aspect that I have to tell you about, that's a big deal, it actually can wind up being really great. It's just a pressure point, and I want to help you navigate around it and tell you what you can do with it. All right, so when outer planets, the ones that are further from us, when they're moving more slowly. So when they come in connection with each other, they stay in connection with each other for a longer period of time. They're not like these fast-moving personal planets, unless they're in retrograde, because then they have a different story. But usually fast-moving personal planets, they're just like, whoop, it's here, it's gone. So any great things or mischief that they bring are more short-lived. But when we have something like Jupiter squaring Saturn, and then this is a longer thing. So August and September, they were really close. This was really full on. I did talk about this then. Also, now, December 24th is exact, but this whole month, they're only a couple of degrees away. And so it's really interesting that this story of expansion of Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter, and this story of restriction, of dedication, of discipline, of stability that Saturn ruled Capricorn tells us, is the same energy that is dueling here. Expansive Jupiter in your ninth house, ruled by Jupiter, wants to grow and expand. And Saturn, the tough taskmaster, is in a square saying, nope, impediments, blocks, restrictions, you can't do it, not now, maybe not ever. But at the same time, Jupiter, the expander, is also acting on the restrictor. So you can notice, maybe you're getting signs it's time to loosen up or lighten up, or, bring more fun or bring more expansion, or just kind of crack out of something. And since it's a square, it does denote this pressure point, but it also denotes this opportunity to crack out of a matrix, which is really what it's all about, because we're limited by our matrix. And whatever that place that we're working within, every time we try to get out, we bump up against the wall and it throws us back in. But these squares can help us to literally get thrown out of the matrix and build a whole new matrix and work on a whole new level and have the cosmic reset that I've been talking about here. So look out for those tensions. 2 key words to make lemonade out of these tensions are discernment and streamlining. You may need to be more discerning with getting your fingers in a lot of pudding pies. You may need to narrow down your focus and use Mars obsessive energy to hyperfocus. You may need to lighten up some Saturnian discipline. You may need to, expand some narrow-minded thinking. And you can make lemonade by using these energies that way, consciously. Now, specifically for Libra, this is happening in your 6th house of health, pets, animals, your daily routine, your daily grind, and your house of the expanded version of you and the international experience and the outstretched, expanded horizon, those teaching and learning, etc. So those are the houses that are kind of at odds with each other. And this might be the matrix you can break out of. All right, so in the days around December 19th, we've got Venus, who was in Capricorn, will go into Aquarius and then come and trine Jupiter. So the 2 benefics, Venus and Jupiter, will come together. Love, money, beauty, confidence, wonderful boosts of expansion, even with Jupiter in retrograde, maybe things coming from the past in those arenas. But this is a really great time to do important things. But again, remember, keeping things smaller, keeping things closer to you, keeping things short term, keeping things flexible. But this is a really great date to lock in something important that you're working on now. Okay, so if you have resonated with my work, then please click like and subscribe and click the bell. I've heard that if you don't click the bell, my posts won't go into your feed, but that's what you can do to help YouTube know that you resonate with my work. And you can also enable notifications, and all of those things will help guarantee that you won't miss anything from me. If you love the dates, sweet and salty dates, things to be awareful and careful of, the awesome aspects, definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com, put your name and email address, and click receive to get my very informative weekly newsletter. You get so many free things. Most of my work in the world is free. You get even more free stuff as a member of my free VIP community, which is what you become when you put your name and email address in there. When you click receive, you will get the welcome letter delivered into your inbox. It could be in spam. You'll have to move it into your inbox. Click on the archive link there, and then put in the search December 2024 astrology. And that's where you will find the sweet and salty dates. I always email that out a month early to my VIP friends so that you can prepare and know the dates ahead of time and know what you're getting yourself into. And if you're a visual learner, you could see all the dates there and have everything in a written format. So at AnnieHelpsYou.com, you can unleash by joining my free VIP community. You can upgrade by accessing my secret star portal. This gets the earliest possible access to all of my work. You do get the horoscopes and other posts early in my free VIP community too, and then you get them extra early in the secret star portal. You also get written horoscopes monthly for each sign and so much more when you upgrade there. And if you want to learn astrology, then you can click on Up Level and see my options. You can start with the basics, or you can dive deep into my Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Certification course. If you think I put a lot into my free work, you should see what I put into this course. It has well over 100 modules and growing, and it can take you from beginner to earning money in a very short amount of time if you apply what I teach you that way. And for people who have already been well versed with astrology, if you can't seem to tie it all together because you know so much and you don't know where to go in the chart to give a concise, effective reading every time, that is my specialty. Plus, if you're trying to monetize your love of astrology, that is my area of expertise. So you can click on Up Level when you're there at AnnieHelpsYou.com. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.